Welcome to r/AskReddit, in which we are going to talk about the following topic, that is, what is the nicest way to thank someone for rocking your world in bed? You might as well buckle up because the following topic is going to be a rather wholesome one, so you might as well take a seat, maybe have a drink nearby, pour in some snacks, and enjoy the ride. The first person replies by saying that the best way to thank someone for rocking your world in bed would be to make them breakfast. And then other person replies, "What's on the menu?" And then this one says, "Breast milk." And then this one says, "Homelander, is that you?" I assume Monica Bellucci from Shoot 'Em Up. I do not understand what this person is talking about, or what this person refers to by mentioning the Italian actress Monica Bellucci. Yes, I'm familiar with her. Damn, she's gorgeous. I am daring to believe that she's just as gorgeous as Sophia Loren, or maybe more. Before we continue with the next topic, let's ask the internet about the age of Monica Bellucci. Yes, she's a model. According to Google, she's a model, and she was born in 1964, and damn, like a good wine, she ages and becomes better with time. For anyone reading, for anyone listening but not watching, I'm just reading the questions that these people are posting, alright? Let's move on with a different topic. This person replies by saying that there is no greater compliment than when our valued clients refer us to their family, friends, and neighbors. We're talking about someone rocking your world in bed when there is some romantic relationship or some intimate relationship on the middle. So this is naturally a joke, I'm going to assume, alright? Because then there are two people that reply, "Lol." I actually have done this before in situations where a FWB was very nice, but there was zero romantic chemistry involved. I had to end it with him because I decided to pursue someone else. But he was so sweet and good in bed, I hooked him up with an acquaintance. And this person is the real MVP. For the people listening but not watching, there is this particular abbreviation, FWB. So let us find out, according to the Google, what's the meaning of FWB meaning. What is that? According to Google, it's supposed to be FWB, oh yeah, friends with benefits relationship, of which I've had like 3 in my life, for which I'm so thankful. Alright, so one more time. Situations where a friends with benefits was very nice, but there was zero romantic chemistry involved. And to be honest, the people who believe that sex and intimacy, carnal intimacy, can ruin a friendship evidently are very short-sighted, mentally speaking, of course. Because hey, even if you have this, there is the possibility that zero romantic feelings are going to come. Yes, there is the risk of that happening. However, hey, intimacy is amazing, sex is great, and humans are the only animals who copulate because of pleasure. Therefore, I don't see any problem with this. There is this person that replies that this is the real MVP. Let's repeat it again. MVP. V for Violet, for example. What's the meaning of that? The original most valuable player? I'm not sure if that is correct. So if there is a person watching this, please do correct me about the meaning of this one. The most valuable player? I am not sure what this person means by that, so let's continue with this one. The best way to thank someone for rocking your world in bed would be to tell them that you may take any prize from the middle shelf. And this person perfectly summarizes the reason why I'm laughing, which is, hey, what's this? What the hell is this? Is this a Chuck E. Cheese role-playing scenario, or are we actually saying I get one of those cool sticky yo-yo hands, huh? Yo-yo hands. Chuck E. Cheese. Well, I don't think that there is a Chuck E. Cheese in my country, so I don't think so, but hey, role-playing, it's amazing, and role-playing makes things spicy and a little bit freaky, and much freakier in a positive sense, of course. Then there is this person who replies, 3 or 4 walls aren't lined with stuffed animals and giant foam pointy fingers for me. take the big teddy bear. The sticky yo-yo hands are for a merely average performance. Ooh, and yes, in that case, you better do your best if you want to get that stuffed teddy bear. And then this person says, I like to put the sticky hand on my dick and imagine it's a gummy or a Sour Patch Kid getting frisky. I do not know what is a Sour Patch Kid and I do not want to know. But yeah, if you want to get the teddy bear, you might as well do your best if you want to get it, right? And you better give that person a very big freaky orgasm. Let's move on with the next. The person proceeds to tell a story that goes like this. Once I had something with this girl while I was working on the other side of my country. We meet after work and one thing led to another. By the way, for anyone listening but not watching, this person wrote let, the past verb that is the root of the word leader, wrote it as let. Continuing the story, this person proceeds to tell in the second paragraph, after we finished and cuddled, she looked me in the eyes with the biggest smile and sparkly eyes and asked, how are you this good at it? Wow. And to be honest, it was one of the nicest things I've ever heard. I still think about it time to time and it gets this warmth in my heart. And it's a little ego boost. And for everyone edit, thanks for the award. There is this meme that I have seen in the past that goes like this and that says something along these lines. And it is that for every single compliment that you give a boy, for every single compliment that you give a boy or that you give a man, regardless of his age, in his teens, in his 20s or in his 30s, any compliment that you give a man, he's going to remember it for the rest of his life. Personally, I remember almost 95% of the compliments that people have given me. And that includes friends, girlfriends, both friends that are girls and romantic partners, and especially my co-workers especially. And these two people reply by saying this is an amazing ego boost. For me, one thing led to another. That's amazing. And this person, the third person that replies, for anyone listening but not watching, this person wrote the verb correctly, which is LED, D for dragon, of course. Moving on with the next. This person proceeds to tell another story that goes like this, that we met for a walk around 8 p.m. When we were in front of her hotel, she asked me if I wanted to watch a movie with her. So I somehow knew what she intended to. Edit, I apologize for my crappy grammar. And this person proceeds to reply by saying, oh, come on, man. The movie can't have been that good then. And the same person who wrote the comment, who wrote the story, and who is replying, of course, says, I don't even remember what movie it was. As the movie started, she took off her pants because it was much more comfortable without, and cuddled with me one leg over my crotch area. I tell you, my hand was on her ass even before the first word was spoken in that movie. And to be honest, that's a fascinating story and I would love to write more. And to be honest, if you're listening and watching, this is frankly far more interesting and much more of a turn on than any erotic book. I'm looking at you, 50 Shades of Grey. Let's continue with the next one. This person replies by giving his or her own story that goes like this. I once hooked up with a French foreign exchange student. I am an American. When we were done and laying in bed, she turned to me and said, how are you? Are you sure you are an American? You fuck like the French. And that was, to be honest, the best compliment I've ever received. And to be honest, me, as a fellow man, I have to say that this is a comment and this is a compliment that I'm pretty sure that this guy is going to remember until his last day. And this person replies with the most amazing, crazy and witty answer that goes, how can you fuck like the French? Did you complain through the entire thing? That is hilarious, to be honest. Because there is this stereotype that says that certain people from certain European countries are always complaining actually. Therefore, this is a rather funny one. However, based on what I've read, and based on what I've heard, and based on what I have seen, it is actually the Polish who are the ones who complain the most. Please, Polish people watching this, do not hate on me, and if you want, please, this is just what I have heard, alright? My sources are unreliable. Please, any Polish person watching this, please do not hate me on that. Please. Każdy Polak to ogląda nie... Każdy Polak to ogląda... Proszę cię, nie nienawidźcie mnie. Nie, пожалуйста, nie, no, sorry, that was Russian. Proszę cię, nie nienawidźcie mnie. I hope I'm saying that right. I only decided to speak that phrase in super bad Polish because I mentioned Polish people, so I wanted an excuse to do it. Let's move on to the next part. Then there is this other person who proceeds to tell his or her story. And it goes like this. I dated a young woman during the undergrad and that relationship ended very, very poorly. But I have generally always tried to at least take away some positive or at least important lessons from relationships like that. You know, when we first started having sex, I noticed that she was extremely quiet, which was both unusual in my previous experience and disconcerting to say the least. I got very concerned about consent, even though we were both sober and stable when things kicked off. So I just sort of stopped. I asked as casually as possible, which is not very casually at all, considering the circumstances, is this okay for you? Is there something else you'd like me to do? Do you want to stop? Etc. Do you want to stop? Etc. She only got very confused. Turns out that her previous partner was a literal fucking sociopath that convinced her that both her noises and facial expressions in bed were distracting and displeasing. So she had learned that good sex meant that her partner should always be satisfied, and that required her to be very quiet. And that required her to keep a very, very quiet. Once I picked my jaw up off the floor, we had a very comprehensive discussion about the reciprocal nature of good sex and the importance of body positivity. I told her that it was very important to me, both ethically and erotically, that she be open and honest about her needs and how she chose to express them. There was this transition period, but things got better for both of us after that. There were other awful details from her previous experiences, but the point is that this was what happened. There were other awful details from her previous experience, but the point has already been clearly established. I apologize for that mistake in pronunciation. It's just that this person wrote as instead of has, which is the simple present conjugation of the verb and auxiliary have. Moving on to the last paragraph, this says, communication is always important. Never assume the nature of a partner's previous experiences. There are awful dudes out there that are perfectly willing to psychologically and physically abuse their sexual partners. Good sex should be reciprocal and pleasurable. Taking advantage of a partner who is disillusioned about what makes you happy nearly as much of an asshole as the people creating the misconceptions in the first place. I might as well double read that again because I'm not sure I understood that properly. Let us read it again. Taking advantage of a partner who is disillusioned about that makes you nearly as much of an asshole as the people creating the misconceptions in the first place. Let's do it again. Taking advantage of a partner who is disillusioned about that makes you nearly as much of an asshole as the people creating the misconceptions in the first place. And to be honest, I couldn't agree with this one more because, you know, sex, exactly, indeed, it has to be something pleasurable. It has to be something nice. It has to be something that both parties enjoy. So expressing what you feel at the time of having intercourse, at the time of having sexy time, intimacy, caressing, and even penetration, it is necessary for both parties to express what they feel, alright? If this person tells you that, please be quiet because you sounding so much is so unpleasant, you might as well end that relationship right here and there. Thank you. Let's move on with the next topic. This girl here proceeds to say that I don't know if I rock his world, but he sent me a really nice text the next day. Hey, a man, not just a man, a person has to be grateful for everything and anything. And then this person replies to this previous one by saying, I remember a girl I hooked up with back in the late 90s, before texting was a thing. She was sending me an email a couple of days afterward, thanking me for a great time. She even explained what the highlights were for her. That is so lovely and so wholesome, to be honest. And this person, ironically but funnily, in a funny way, asks, so was that a performance review? Yup, pretty much, replies the other one. And I have to say this is a rather nice one, you know? Being grateful for something that made you feel good and expressing what made you feel good is a good thing. Never encapsulate your feelings. It's okay to express them, but never encapsulate them or repress them for far too long. Then this person replies, give them a very solid high five and let them know the money is on the dresser. Oh my god, we're talking about intimacy, not about hiring I'm gonna say it, a sexual worker. Oh my god, hiring a worker of that kind, you know? I hope that I don't get shadow banned for doing this. And this person proceeds to give an edit that says, thanks everyone for all the awards and upvotes. A heart. You guys are the real most MVP, which means you guys are the real most valuable players, and if I run into any of you on the street, I will pay you for your next hooker. Oh my god. I can't believe that this person is talking about hookers. Who are you? Are you Charlie Harper? And let me point out that I say Charlie Harper and not Charlie Sheen. Then these two people reply in a Paulatine kind of way, saying, what if they don't have the change to break at 20? And what better way is there to pay them back? What better way is there to pay them back than just giving them the 20? I do not understand what this person said because this person is not writing with proper punctuation, so I apologize for my failure at understanding that one. So, let's move on to the next topic. Then this person proceeds to say, high five, good job. And then this person says, if the sex was bad, do you do the whole up high, down low, too slow? And then run out of the door? Allow me to paraphrase that one by saying, if the sex was bad, do you do this? Do you say up high, down low, and too slow? And then do you run out for the door? Oh my god. Oh my god. Anyway, let's continue with another one that says, oh, my compliments to the chef. I prefer the Hell's Kitchen experience, saying it's fucking raw. Oh my god, I can't believe this is happening. Allow me to double. I have a very important guest for this one. It's my dear friend Rina, and she's going to pronounce this for us. Rina, how would you say this for us?
I prefer the Hell's Kitchen experience. It's fucking raw. How do you say that? How do you say? Oof. How do you say that in Gordon Ramsay's accent? Sorry, I got a hiccups. Well, I mean, they're funny. I know that that's not something they would really want to do, but if they do, that's gonna be really hilarious, you know. I like Gordon Ramsay, but I can't really do impression of people, so I'm bad at it. Because I was younger, I wish I was an actress, but I can't act, so it's kind of complicated, you know?
Then this person proceeds to say that you might as well give them aftercare first. And then this other one replies, the way you say it makes me feel like I've missed out on a term. I can't figure out if aftercare means massage, cuddles, ice cream, or a towel. And then this person replies, yes. And then another one says, instructions unclear, now everything's covered in ice cream. Oh my god. A little side note, guys. It's not my own experience, but I read a very good article that says practices during sex that sound amazing in theory, but in practice are actually a disaster. And one is that, for example, covering your significant other with maybe a candy, especially a liquid candy such as caramel, ice cream, or maybe what do you call this? Give me a second. Chantilly cream. I'm not sure what you call that. Which is the, oh my god, whipped cream or the mousse on the body of your significant other. It's nice and it's kind of haughty and kinky and it sounds amazing in theory. However, afterwards, once you lick everything clean from the part, let's say for example, the nipple, the nipple is going to be afterwards totally sticky, and when your skin, it's against the skin on which there was some candy before, it's going to be sticky and uncomfortable. So you might as well face the consequences of whatever thing you want to try. Let's move on with the next topic. Then this person says that it is a very important part of all sexual expression, expressing what you want. For example, BDSM, which means, BDSM meaning, which is a term for a variety of sexual practices that includes bondage, discipline, dominance, submission, and sadism. It is important to follow up with your partner in order to see if boundaries were crossed, and it is important to learn how to meet their needs better and how to meet your own needs in the future. And then this person proceeds to say that it is a little bit more than that though. The adrenaline and endorphins associated with such acts can result in a variety and unpredictable headspace after a session, and getting into a comfortable and caring environment is super important for good mental health and general well-being with BDSM. It is referred to as sub-drop and top-drop. Sub-drop being the more common since it's the most physical response to receiving impact play, role play, etc. Top drop is, as far as I know, much more similar to the "why the fuck am I jerking off to this? What kind of sick fuck am I?" But it is way more real since it is a real person you're having those feelings about, and there might be some potential guilt. I don't know, I'm not a top. Aftercare is a smooth and soft transition out of the headspace of a session and back into normal headspace. Renegotiation and recapping a session are important parts of the process, but they aren't what people refer to as aftercare. And then there is an edit of this same person who says, these kind of things can also apply to vanilla sex. The endorphins and adrenaline are similar for vanilla sex, of course. And certain emotional impacts can affect people differently, but it's more case by case instead of this better fucking happen and you are borderline neglectful in BDSM. It's all about consent, my friends. It is all about consent. And for that reason, again, I'm looking at you, 50 Shades of Grey. You're just fiction, therefore you are not to be taken seriously. Anyway, let us continue with the next topic that goes right now. This person tells his or her story that goes like this. I had a first date with a girl. I gave her a body-shaking orgasm, and then she put the hand on my chest to say, "Stop, stop, that is enough." And then, without a word, I held up one finger, giving her the universal sign for, "I just need 1 minute." She laid down, closed her eyes, put the back of her hand against her forehead. Breathing heavily still, she then proceeded to list off her whole weekly schedule and all the time she would be available to hook up. I imagine this was similar to winning the golden ticket. That was a pretty nice way to respond. And then, achievement unlock, you're pretty good. Or, achievement unlock, a weapon to surpass Metal Gear. I'm not familiar with Metal Gear Solid or any game in the saga of Metal Gear, therefore I cannot give an opinion on this one. Other than, hey, at least you decided to stop when she asked you to. That's the most important thing. And that's how we end this particular episode of r/AskReddit, and the topic that was, of course, what is the nicest way to thank someone for rocking your world in bed? I would like to thank everyone who stayed here to listen to my horrible voice relating these things to you, and I would like to say that you're a ducking beast. I'll propose a deal to you. Why don't you go to the comment section and tell me what you think about this, and also leave a thumbs up, and feel free to subscribe. That last part is optional, alright? Have a wonderful day, and please don't forget to like and comment. Have an amazing day, you are awesome. Farewell.